People love a good ghost story and are seemingly always eager to embrace tales of legendary local hauntings, regardless of corroborating evidence. Utrecht is a site near Monmouth that is legendary in local lore for alleged supernatural occurrences. Known as Crybaby Bridge, it's a small steel bridge spanning Cedar Creek near the stone quarry and the former Olmsted's Mill, 4 miles northwest of town. Legend has it that a school bus full of children once plunged off the bridge, killing everyone aboard. Another story is that a young and wed mother once tossed her unwanted infant son off the bridge. Needless to say, there is no evidence that either event ever occurred, but the stories are used to support an eerie phenomenon that some locals swear occurs at the bridge. They say if you drive your car onto the bridge and put it in neutral, tiny hands will push it across the bridge, even if you are headed uphill. It is also claimed that if you put talcum powder on your bumpers, prints of the hands will appear there. Today's photos, taken in 1940 by Monmouth photographer Paul Kobler before the original covered bridge was replaced by the current modern span, certainly could give you chills, suggesting a headless horseman might be ready to emerge from its shadows. But 2 separate paranormal research teams have debunked any real hauntings. Bob Heiser, a local ghost hunter and a member of the small-town ghost team, said in a 2018 interview that her organization had found nothing to support the claims. In 2012, an engineer for Caterpillar Inc., who founded the Peoria Paranormal Society, brought his team to investigate the bridge. Derek Waldschmidt, who developed a device to measure changes in electromagnetic frequency that he called the ghost box, said he actually did detect changes in frequency around the bridge, but his team could make no contact with spirits. Interestingly, he did point out that one member of his team, a clairvoyant medium, reported seeing ghost-like visions during the visit, but not involving a school bus. She claimed to have witnessed a much older spirit in the form of a Native American paddling a canoe. In July 1898, the 15-year-old son of attorney W.K. Stewart was diving off the dam with companions when his foot slipped on the logs and he slipped, hitting his head on the rocks in the water below. He fractured 2 of his vertebrae, which resulted in paralysis and death 2 days later. The term Crybaby Bridge did not originate in Monmouth, and a quick check of Wikipedia reveals that there are dozens of so-named bridges across the United States, all having similar backstories. Moreover, Maryland folklorist Jesse Glass has charged that crybaby bridges are actually fake law, hoaxes that are intentionally propagated via the internet. In 1999, he found nearly identical stories of escaped slaves and black children having been murdered on bridges in Maryland and Ohio. The stories seemed to suddenly pop up online, and no amount of research turned up a historical basis in either state for their having occurred. Fear is arguably the most primal emotion humans experience. Exposure to fear provokes a strong, adrenaline-fueled response, which many thrill seekers actively pursue. At Halloween, this proves true more often than any other time of the year. If history is any indication, many will flock to Warren County's allegedly haunted locations, such as Crybaby Bridge and a number of different cemeteries. Crybaby Bridge is a single-lane steel bridge that traverses Cedar Creek about 4 miles northwest of Monmouth. The legend of the site has grown over the years. In 2001, Bob Heiser founded the local small-town ghost team, began investigating Crybaby Bridge and its story. I started with interviewing senior citizens, because they are closer to the origin than anyone else. Crybaby Bridge was originally a wooden bridge built by a farmer to connect to pastures for moving cattle across. They had heard the story of a child dying there and its crying for help at night. In the 1930s, the original bridge was torn down after being there for maybe 75 years. This bridge was in a different location than the one currently known as Crybaby Bridge. Regardless, the story moved and has survived, thanks in part to high school and Monmouth College students. Three legends have developed regarding the cause of the strange occurrences experienced at the bridge. The first involves a single, unwed mother who, fearing being shamed and ostracized, threw her week-old child off the bridge. The second story to develop involves an elementary school bus losing control during a flood and careening over the side of the bridge. Finally, it is also said a group of teenagers struck a man fishing from the bridge during an afternoon joyride. This legend claims the man's apparition sometimes appears in the area. Regardless of generation, it is always the same basic story. It is said that if you put your car in neutral, a child will push it across the bridge to safety, Heiser said. This is an optical illusion effect due to the way the ground is at the end of the bridge. Although it does not look like it, there is a slight incline. The handprints people have seen on their cars come from the oils you leave behind when you touch your vehicle. Heiser claims to have never found any evidence of a haunting at Crybaby Bridge. However, as the original site of the bridge has been lost to history, she has only been able to conduct experiments at the current steel bridge. Monmouth is an old town, so there are ghosts here, Heiser said. Most of them lived out their lives here and simply didn't realize they died. However, a few know they are dead, but still refuse to leave. I have investigated almost all of the local cemeteries, and only around 1/3 have paranormal activity. Sugar Tree Grove Cemetery used to be the most active, but that had to do with the Native Americans who just happened to be located there. Houses are a totally different subject. A ghost can haunt a single home or even an entire neighborhood. I have screened around 20 homes in Monmouth. Exposure to fear, as I mentioned earlier, can leave a psychic imprint, whether it's a residual haunt or a conscious haunt, as well as visitors, adrenaline-fueled response, which many thrill seekers actively pursue, feeds the historical energies and its inhabitants here. What are your thoughts about Crybaby Bridge and its spooky legends? Please feel free to comment below. Thank you for joining me here today on my channel, Enlightenment in the Darkness. Enjoy the rest of your day.